G'day everyone, welcome back to Griffin. We're in the second half of July and we're still working our way through our harvest. We got a little bit of a head start at the end of the last, after the last episode to try and organise this field, and that's proved to be a good idea. We as you can see, it's an early start, a lovely July day, but in the forecast there is rain on the way, and so we really want to get both this and the wheat field harvested before the rain comes. The rain's due at 10. Now the oats shouldn't take too long to get off here. So we've got one headland, but we might have enough room now. I was just getting the bales out of the way. We might have enough room to just switch straight to the up and downs. So we'll just get everything organised here. Just like we did last time, we'll get our baler worker following along, and we'll see how we go. This shouldn't take too long to get these oats off here. So we've taken another load of bales off the other field. We are really going to have a lot of straw, and Kevin was so excited that after the success in the last episode, and just, you know, where we're sort of sitting in terms of crop and value, he's re-energized in terms of the next little while. And so with that in mind, he started to look at prices, and whilst the immediate thought was, well, we need to sell all this straw now, doing a little bit more research, he's suddenly realised that this is kind of the worst possible time to sell straw. And so, given that he doesn't need the cash, what he really should do is hang on to the straw and sell it in December. Which is only a few months away, so the big question is where to store it, and if we can sort of solve for that issue, find somewhere a bit out of the way, even if it means putting some sort of shed or something in, perhaps that's the better strategy, because it, you know, $30 or $40 1,000 litres, it makes a big difference. And what's happening here, with the best of intentions, we have failed to turn on, and the worker's not the most switched on individual, and so hasn't actually baled anything. So turn on our baler. Now we've got our worker back, so dutifully following along as instructed, but not actually baling anything. So we've got a strip there that's not done. I'll just lift you up for a second. And we can cut through here. I wondered why the worker was able to keep so close behind when I checked, and that would be the reason. So as long as we follow a bit more of a race course in these up and downs, we should have no trouble with the baler following us through. And with any luck, we'll get this done and then manage to get the wheat off. So you can see the baler's stopped there to drop off the bale, hopefully. Yes. So as I was saying, 30 or 40 dollars 1,000 litres difference for straw means it's worth absolutely hanging on to. So we'll do that, and see where that leaves us. Probably could have gone a bit further. I didn't judge that particularly well. One of the things we also need to do a bit later on today is pop over and check the sheep out. We could, now that we've got a little bit more cash, we might be able to get a couple of extra sheep to put in that pen just to bolster the output. Maybe some mature, half a dozen or a trailer full of mature sheep might just make all the difference to the wool output and get the spinnery up and processing again, and then we can set our mind to placing a field for the for some more cattle to get our ranching progressing. So it's all starting to come together. Kevin was able to pick up the grass that he cut around the house, so that's got the silage processing kicking along. So surprisingly, there was a couple of hundred, almost 180,000 litres of grass in that home field surrounding the house. So that'll make about 150,000 litres of silage, and then that's before we pick up what's on our grass field there. So that needs to be rowed up. And the small tractor we usually use for that is currently pulling the baler, so it's just a matter of what the priorities are right at the moment. And the rain, of course, is driving the action. With any luck, another 3 or 4 rows, and this, we're almost full here. We're going to have to do an empty. Just keep an eye on the fill level, and we'll run back over and grab the truck. Big shed, and it's empty. All the equipment in use in one form or another at the moment. There's some near us we could do with another small tractor, I suspect. So we'll keep our eye, now that we've got a little bit more in terms of cash resources. Perhaps we'll be able to take advantage of something that comes up in second-hand sales. We haven't been particularly lucky recently. Let's see, here we go here. I'm probably, I don't know, maybe just a bit far forward. Fill you up. And while that's happening, we can have a look at the prices I was referring to. So if we come down to straw, we've got plenty. But you can see the current rate is 60, but if we come across here to our time-saving stock check, the top price is in the last 12 months was 90 in January, and just on the difference between the two, that's worth hanging on to get that extra. So that's without cutting the wheat field, and with the bales we've still got to gather. So we've already sold enough to well and truly pay for the trailer that we've leased at the moment, so it's not a problem to return that and get it later on if we need to. So that's currently the new plan. One more tank should fill this. Get that end. That end going to be a single row, or we're going to need two? Need two down there. Might just keep going with this one. I forgot to restart the baler again. He's getting so excited that he's missing these little steps. Never mind, that's just a chore that he'll have to come back to. But we'll check in when we finish getting the oats off this field and we start to do the headland on the wheat field. Kevin and his helper are working as fast as they can. We finished getting the oat off, so there'll be a little bit of tidy up work to fix those patches that we missed. We just need to get the final load of oats, about 8,000 to 10,000 litres, out of the harvester, and then we can start on the wheat. So that's the next bit. Looks like the rain is about an hour or so away, and it's only going to rain for a couple of hours. So, oh no, we could have rain as near as any minute. So we'll begin, but if it starts to rain, we'll definitely have to pause. And thankfully, we've got plenty of other jobs we can go on with while that's occurring. That might be the opportunity to go down and get some sheep, for example. But meanwhile, let's get going and this headland. Be interesting to see what the wheat yields here. And this time we have started our straw harvester, so a straw baler, so that bit's progressing. We can run this edge in cab. Need to watch our line up there. I don't know how straight this edge is. Field's a bit bouncy. I'm not sure that I can judge the fence accurately from in the cab. As we come to the end here. But because we've got the baler following us, we'll Not sure how rounded this corner is. We might be able to get round. Just scooch out a little so that we can make the turn. We've got to keep with follow me travelling in a forward direction. That'll make that fine. So that's worked out quite nicely. So our workers should be able to navigate that corner without too much difficulty. Oops. Steering inputs backwards when I'm in front of the cab. And is that rain? It is rain. We're going to have to pause there, which is a bit of a nuisance, but it's all switched off. This bale will finish when he catches up. We'll just drive you right up to the back and just pop that bale out of there. Okie dokie. Well, we need a truck. Might as well empty this one, get the oats out, and then come back and get the ute and pick up some more bales and take the animal trailer down and buy some sheep and go and check on the sheep, and hopefully by the time we've got all that done we'll be in a position to come back and finish off that field. It's not looking like we'll get this grass road up today, but it's not as high a priority. That fermenter's already running, and all we're going to do is turn it into silage. The other thing on our list, of course, is we need to keep our eyes peeled for a mixer so that we can start to give some TMR to our milk cows here and get some milk production happening. Cows, Angus are looking particularly healthy over there. Maybe we put them under the cover that we've already got there, and we can put the vehicles in the older style barn, because getting the bales back out of the older style barn would be a problem. Doable, just more work. So, and certainly hopefully by the time we get to next year, it'd be nice if there'd been an opportunity to upgrade the baler and make some larger bales. Now, while we've got a run down there, we'll go and take these ones off the wheat field headland, even though we didn't quite make it all the way around. How many have we got there? 4 more. I should have got 3 more before I came this way. Yeah, so there's one just at the back of the baler, so we want 4 more. We'll get from over here. And then we'll check back in when we get down to the animal dealer. this last one. I think we'll have enough room to get out there through the gate as we fold the armour. Any luck? We can just squeak up the side there, watch carefully for all the equipment. I'm very pleased we took the gates off and widened the fence opening here very early on in our time on this farm. There we go. So I'm thinking that we put the hay bales in this large shed to our left here. The other advantage of doing that is that that'll keep them front of mind. Just make them a little easier to get at when it comes time to sell them. Hopefully there's enough roof space there without causing too much damage. Very close call with the train on one of the sail trips with the bale trailer on a little earlier. So very wary of that crossing now. But here we are at Larson's. So we want to get ourselves more sheep, and I think we'll just buy a trailer full of these landrace, which is 10, and this will be all we buy, because this will keep us going. They'll now breed and fill that pen quite happily, and we'll see how they're going when we get there in just a minute. Our younger lambs are grazing there nicely on the hillside. We'll just pull in here and open the gate at the back and allow us to get round. We won't test Kevin's reversing skills to get all the way in here. It looks like we've got the first of a wool bale produced there, so we've got just the beginning of some produce. With any luck, can we select here? We can. Move you onto the husbandry, and now we can go and check. And so our sheep, very well fed, quite happy, couple of months old. And here's the new ones we just put in. So these are going to, the wool production will kick up a little bit with the addition of these older sheep here, and that first 16 litres of wool. So we won't bother starting the operation up for that. That's a little amount. So let's just check what's in the store. Pretty interesting disc harrow, but I don't think we want to spend 27,000 on that at the moment. It's not in our list of priorities. So we won't do any more store shopping. But we'll head back to the farm and just check on the cows. Turn. Drayton. That'll do. Let's have a look here. Milk cows. 12 of 45. They're healthy, they're not producing milk yet, and they've got plenty of straw. Flurry's fine. And we've got a little bit of manure. So that's all going well. We duck over to the Angus. $36 of 60. And their Angus are actually out of food, so we need to drop some hay in here. That's no good at all. So let's sort that out. That won't have, it'll have kicked our values back down. They can't have been out for very long. Because whilst I might not check it in every episode, Kevin does keep a pretty good eye on what am I doing? We want hay out of the silo, don't we? And Kevin does a pretty good job of keeping the supplies up. We just got a bit distracted with his harvest contracts and the excitement around the place here. Hey. Let's see. Odd. Can't get the fill trigger out unless it's a bale only fill trigger. I'm sure. Oh, I definitely used bales here before. That is true. There it is. Just wasn't quite in the right spot. And that's now full. Put you back in the silo. Convenient storage. So as we were saying, let's look at the Angus. We won't deduce much from the values because they were out of food, but they'll come back pretty nicely. We've got a few that are various ways through puberty, halfway through reproduction on this lot. So we'll get another 6 in about 4 or 5 months' time. And then looking at their age, these will be approaching the time to sell. So they're in good shape. Well, they will be in good shape shortly. For now, it might be time to head in for an early lunch and wait for this rain to pass. Haven't done any messing around with the clock. I think rain's just part of the business of farming, so we'll just have to wait for it to pass. Well, as you can see, it didn't actually take very long for the rain to stop. We've only managed to get 8 bales on the trailer, so we'll keep picking these bales up to give a light amount of time for the field to dry, and turned out to be a short shower. It was only about an hour and a quarter's worth of rain, so not too much damage done, and we certainly had plenty to go on with. I'm guessing we'll certainly fill this trailer and then some on this field, and then we'll have probably 2 trailers full off the wheat field, so we will be swimming in hay bales. Remember to organise our baler this time. Make sure you're switched on. Let's try. We switched him on. We didn't hire the worker. Right, Control F puts our worker on. Let's continue on with our headland. Probably would have been a clever idea to empty the harvester, but did not think of that in time. But all being well, shouldn't take too long to get the wheat off this field, and that will be our harvesting activities complete for the moment. As we come round to this next up and down, we're coming up on full. This is a longer row. I want to do a bit of an experiment, and I think we put the harvester on the AI. We'll we'll be able to get the truck over and emptied. Just need to watch out, we're a bit close to our baler here. We'll be able to get the truck over and emptied before that harvester fills. So let's see how that goes. Because I think it'll fill before the end of the row. So we won't have to worry about him too. If he fills, that's fine because everything will just stop. If we can get this over and done, we'll just pick up a little bit of elapsed time. He hasn't filled yet. On the shorter runs, I would have been pretty confident we'd create a mess. Because the AI driving and turning at the end of the field with follow me on would not work. So that emptied out of there pretty quick. And the harvester's almost at the end of the run there, and the harvester's full, which is excellent. That was fairly well judged. We'll take you off the harvester, I think. Around that bale, I think, might be the safest course of action. Looks like it'll be just over a tank because we've already filled the truck, topped off the truck, so we'll have to run over and empty that. One of the things Kevin's been pondering as he's finished the field and seeing where things are getting to is if there are any more contracts around, because while he's got the equipment before he returns it, it's well and truly covered his costs. He's really enjoyed this STS, and should he get take advantage of another couple of contracts if they're on offer. He's leaning towards the yes answer. Let's just have a look. Baling we don't want for the minute. Harvesting, field 4 is oats. Field 16 is oats. They're both going on the train. We have plenty. Field 39 must be a little field in town for $113. It won't be worth taking the equipment there. So I'm thinking that he will accept both of these contracts. And it'll be easy enough to knock them over just returning the equipment. And this piece of equipment that we borrowed once before, we'll borrow again and take that one. So they are just good jobs that we can progress over the next month or so as we as we continue to build up and develop our farm, and they'll provide good cash flow to pay for our leased equipment. If you can run down with the harvester and get those fields, the crop in, that then means we can return this harvester. So we don't necessarily need to record all of that activity. But for today, for today's episode, we'll just finish this row, and it will be a really good job done. We're looking at the bales we've got out here. We've got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 on that field. We've got another 20, so we've probably got 2 more trailers of bales to put in our shed here, which will be also some good income as we get to the end of the year. And we will hang on to a few for the bedding for our milk cows, of course. For now, we'll finish off this field here and see where things finish up in terms of the wheat count. And just make sure we line this up so we don't run back into our baler. That's worked quite well. There's probably 1 more or 2 more bales worth of tidy up activity, and this field will be completely dusted, so ready for mulching when we get a chance. But that's been another successful day's harvest right there, I think. You're going to end up with, what, 2,000 odd litres, which we can drop into the truck. There we pick up the last of the crop, pick the header up, trundle back down, avoiding the obstacle course of bales that we've created. Deposit that. And there we go. We can fold you up. There's our baler. Turn you off. Didn't turn the harvester off, did I? Let's go see how much wheat we finished up with, keeping in mind we had 50,000 left over from that contract that we did last month. So overall our silo stocks should be looking pretty darn good, I think. And let's use the time-saving stock check mod to just empty that out and tell us where we stand, because we can see here wheat we've got 103,000, so we got 53,000 off our own fields. Oats were at 91, and if we get something up towards best price for both those crops, we will be up towards 200,000. So by the time we add in the straw, all right, we've got another $50,000 worth of straw on hand now, because the time-saving stock check has been updated to take into account bales in the field. Although Mark very kindly sent me a new version of the Modhub. You'll just have to wait a week or so for the Modhub version to be updated. But we've got a $225,000 payday coming probably in the January timeframe. So that's something really to look forward to. But for now, it's been a very productive harvest season for us. Thank you so much for watching, and stay safe. I'll catch you next time. See ya.